Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is going to be a technique video, but using gilding flakes. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced them. So I wanted to share because I found some, sorry, bear with me y'all because my camera felt like it was crooked. I think I finally get it fixed though, and then I'll come right back. All right. So I got some Nuvo gilding flakes, and then I found these a silver and a sort of like coppery color, like the Nuvos, at the Dollar Tree. So I wanted to show you one possible way. There's many, but a possible idea is that you may be able to use your gilding flakes for your card bases. And initially, I thought I had pulled out double sided tape and I had pulled out masking tape. So I wound up having to start over cutting new paper, new covers from this sticker sheet. So with the double-sided tape, you're gonna cut out whatever your size is. I cut mine to 4 by 5 1/4 because two of my panels I'm gonna use for like card bases. You know, like the decorative part to go on top of my card base, I guess I should say. And then the other ones I'm going to use to cut out a die. So we're going to have two options for the gilded flakes usage, I guess you could say. Okay, so right now I'm just cutting up the double-sided tape, and with that, the double-sided tape, it what was I gonna say, when you cut it out, there's tape on both sides. So don't freak out or worry about what side you're cutting, you know, if you're cutting it correctly. You're going to peel off one side, lay it down, and then either cut out your die cuts or, you know, peel it off so you can start using your Nuvo, the gilding flakes right on top of it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just laying it down. Now on one of these, my fingers I think had like some of the tape came off, some of the double-sided tape. So you'll see when we go to put the gilding flakes on, in the center of one of them it's going to have some gilding flakes missing. That's going to be why, because it came off on my fingers and I didn't even realize it until it was too late. So on the last one I wind up doing I get the flakes and what I was going to say, not the flakes. I'm able to get it all down as one panel, which is good because I'm going to use it to cut out my dies. Excuse me. So I got from my little scrapbook store a die set, a die and stamp set that says Merry. And with the Merry, you can make it Merry Christmas. You can make it there's all these different little sentiments that you can make that goes with it. So like wish you a Merry Christmas, wishing you a Merry Christmas, Merry Holiday Season, for me and mine, Merry, and then Christmas. So there's all these different words you can put to it, okay? Bear with me. I'm grabbing my Gemini, my larger Gemini, so I can cut out these few die cuts here. I will wind up bringing in my mini one when it's time to cut out a few other pieces, but this one was right next to me, so I just grabbed it real quick so we can cut these out pretty fast. Okay, so I'm just making sure that the paper side that has the sticky, that I'm putting the die cut in the right place to assure that when I go to peel, it'll read the word the correct way, right? So I wanted to make sure. And the best thing was putting the Merry down flat on the magnet piece so that it cuts upwards. And then on top of the side of the paper that didn't have the double-sided tape. So it went right through, and with it looking like on top, that would be the sticky part. And then I just flipped it and did the same thing. And now we have two base Marys that we're going to use the gilding flakes on. And I thought this would be a good idea because I know a lot of us have dies that are like this where you have the word and then the shadow. And I just thought, you know what, this would be a really great way to use your gilding flakes. If you have double-sided tape, you peel the top part. We're just going to lay it here in this box. I created this from a FedEx box that I got from Michelle. I just cut off the top part of the lid, and now I'm just going to start dumping in the gilding flakes. I was going to use both the copper and the silver, but I figured on this one I'll just use the silver, and then when we go to use the other gilding flakes, we'll use the Nuvos. And I will tell you, they both operate the same way. It doesn't matter if it's Dollar Tree or if it's Nuvo. Gilding flakes are very messy. So you'll want to get something like this box. If you want to get something a little bit smaller, you can do that too, depending on what pieces you're getting set up. But just be mindful, it's gonna be all in the air. It's almost like glitter. You know how they say glitter is like the herpes of the crafting world because it just goes everywhere. It just spreads. It just sometimes it creates such a mess. Well, gilding flakes do that too. The good thing is I left, well, most of it is in the box because it is containing it. It still is like, it floats through the air. It was on my arms. It's just, it can be very messy. And I'm using the Vicki Boutin, her brush that she had, that came out a couple of years ago. And I'm doing that because I needed something with strong bristles, okay? And this stencil brush, that's what it's called, it worked really well because for the most part, it is very stiff. But whenever you're using gilding flakes, that's what you want. Like, you don't want a flimsy brush. You want something that has a lot of sturdiness. And now that's me trying to get the silver flakes out and back into the container. Yeah. So it wouldn't be a bad thing actually to have a separate container that you could dump this into, only because that little bottleneck, it's really hard to get the flakes back in. So that's what I would suggest. If you're going to get a lot of those, maybe also get you a little small, like, container with the little handles on it to lock it. I was just showing you all the gilding flakes on my arms there. But I think that would be a good way to contain it. All right, so for the second part, I'm just saying there, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use the Nuvo. The Nuvo for this one, to me, was better because one is a larger surface that we're trying to do. And with it being a larger surface, the flakes are chunkier or bigger in the Nuvo. So when I start putting it down, it's just, it really has good coverage, I guess is the way to look at it. So I'm trying to be careful because you keep in mind they're double-sided. So I just start to kind of dump it and then move some of the flakes around. But when you're using the brush, what you're doing is you're sort of like pressing down and rubbing all at the same time because you're trying to really press it into the double-sided tape, right? And then anywhere where there is no tape, it's not going to stick. So along some of the edges, there was no double-sided tape, so it doesn't stick. Now, you could always put some tape down and then try and, fill in the gap. But for me, that little piece in the center, I'm like, I know I can get something that's going to cover that, So I wasn't like very worried. And then this one, everything in the center was covered, so that's perfect. It was just a little bit on the edges again. And I felt like it didn't bother me because I felt like, I'm making a fall card. It could be a little rustic, not really finished well. It'll be okay. I still can't find my edger, my distresser, which is so crazy to me because I had ribbon on the end of it and I still can't find it. It's so bizarre. but it's okay. So I'm just going to keep moving stuff into the center together and trying to get all the bigger flakes out that I can and back into the container. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Some of these little bits, little bitty bits, I do try and save, but after a while, I'm like, forget it. Let's put the lid back on. And then anything else that's in the box, I just dump out in the trash next to me. And really, for the most part, that box really did help to contain it. So what we're going to do for the rest of this video is just finish making the Marys, and then in our final project video, you'll see how I turn these 4 different things into finished cards, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of paper and I'm going to stamp Mary twice. Now, hindsight being 2020, with this Mary, I should have used my Misty. And I'm going to tell you now, using your Misty is really the best way to go, or any type of stamp positioner, because you can stamp more than once. And that's what I would have liked to have done with these. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So the second time I tried to make sure I fully inked it up, but again, it didn't really go down smoothly, as smooth as I would have wanted. So the lesson to learn is, when you're using a brand new stamp, maybe don't use it in the live first. Stamp off, and then in the live or the video recording, stamp after you've used it more than once. But it's okay. We're going to keep on moving. So we're going to use a die to punch that Mary out. And then there's also a Mary die that's going to cut basically like a... It's hard to explain because it's both of them are shadows. So it'll be a closer shadow to the actual Mary that we just did. And then those 2 pieces are going to sit on top of the silver one that we made using the gilding flakes. So here's our Gemini Go, our mini Gemini, and how fitting as we get closer and closer to the Gemini season. Woo woo. I'm talking about my birthday, as it's coming soon. This Friday coming. I'm so excited. So just as a quick reminder, there will not be a video on Friday because I'll be doing a live at 8 p.m. And I want you guys to come hang out with me, help me celebrate my birthday. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have some crafty goodness going on, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. Okay, back to the schedule program. So right now we're cutting out our Mary, our shadow Mary, okay? And I wind up cutting a piece too short, and I want to say it didn't cut properly. I'm hoping is this the one? No, this one it did. So that's the first one that printed or punched out correctly. And then I did another one, which is going to come out here. It's so funny because when you use these machines, it doesn't come out very fast. It's not like it's going zoom, but since my video is sped up, it looks like it's going so much quicker, you know? Okay, so I'm just getting that little piece out before I put it back into, off to the side there. And then now we're going to line up the Mary, and instead of using, like, it's hard because I do mine where instead of it going face down, I have the die facing up, right? Well, it's harder to line that up. So I do use just a little piece of washi tape to kind of hold down the die. And then as it goes through, you get the cleanest cut. You really do. And then we're going to do it one more time. And you'll see here when I take it out, what I mean, because we have the shadow, another shadow, which technically, if we did that bottom, that white piece in black, you could have put that on top of the silver and that could have been the title. But I wanted to show you with all 3 pieces, you know, that gilding flake as the big shadow. It does look really pretty. And you could do something so simple like this and just punch out a bunch, and then just make a bunch of Merry Christmas cards. You know what I mean? It wouldn't take long. And then I think I'm taking out the last piece here. Sorry, it's off camera. I always forget that when I take out the dies and stuff that I needed to like bring it forward so you guys can see. Because a lot of times I'm holding it like to my chest because I'm trying to get a piece out or, you know, pop it out. But now we're going to move this out the way. I'm going to bring my little bag back and put the Gemini Go back in its bag so that way it can sit off to the side. And I like the Go for like really small things, just a couple of word dies, stuff like that. The bigger one, I like to do usually some of the bigger die cuts and stuff, but this all still came together pretty well. Okay, so right now I'm just using the glue and putting down the white shadow of Mary. And then we're going to do the same thing. So whenever you're doing like a production, or like not a production, but like a more than one of something, it's easy to do like whatever the step you're on, do it for all of it. So if you're making 2, or if you're making 5, if you're making 20, you're going to do whatever step you're doing all of them at once. Okay. So if you're putting on the shadow, you're putting all the shadows on at once. And that way, when you're done with your 20, when you're done with your 10 or your 1, your card is done. I said 1. I should have said at least 2. Duh. But there's the Mary. And then I'm going to put the clear block on top of that while I finish putting, of course I had the dropsies, the Mary, on the second one. So I'm going to line this one up. And they fit perfectly together. And there you go. Clean up a little bit of that glue. And then I believe, do I put the block? No. I thought I was putting the block on there. But here you go. So we have the gilding flake with the silver, and then we have it with the copper. Okay, so like I said before, you guys, make sure you come and join me for tomorrow's video, and then on Friday for my birthday at 8 p.m. we're gonna go live. Thanks again, y'all, and you have a great day.